J.R. Straus.
Thank you, Kim. Very nice. Almost like I wrote it myself. Thank you for having me here today. It's an honor to be here. First of all, congratulations to you, June Days. You should take a moment and recognize each other. You all put in the work, right? I mean, this is a 12-month program. You guys all came in here together. Nobody knew anybody, and you're probably going to miss each other at this point. So I hope you all keep in touch, and you should definitely get another round of applause. This program, like Kim alluded to before, it's a challenge. You have to work somewhere for free and spend your time there, and you have to go and actually work and make money, most likely, at another job, and then you also have to come here and go to school. It's like a big triangle, and then you go to bed and you wake up and you do it all over again. I did it. I know. I understand exactly what you guys are going through, so you have a little more free time now, hopefully, right? And hopefully you'll use it to try to look for a job. I'm fortunate enough that I work at ESPN 1000. I have since 2003. It's kind of like a big locker room. Guys, girls joking around the whole time. And I was sitting there listening to some of my friends at the station talk about something one day, and we were all kind of laughing, and I kind of threw in a wise-ass comment like I do occasionally. And someone kind of looked at me and went, you know, Straus, you are one cocky SOB. And I went, whoa. I mean, I've been called a lot of things, but never before. Well, SOB I've been called before, yes, but cocky was new to me. That was something different, and it kind of took me by surprise. I had to think about it. Am I cocky? I don't know. I thought back to when I started back here. I was younger, a little less gray, a lot more naive and hungry. I wanted to work at a sports station. Sports radio just started in this town in the early 90s, and I was a huge fan. I wanted to get in there as much as anything. That was what I wanted to do. I talked about it. I lived it. I listened to it. I was waiting tables and bartending, talking to people. Hey, you know anybody over there? Hey, you know anybody over there? Trying to get in there. And I tried to get in there when I enrolled in this school. And I never heard back. Never. I sent so many emails and followed up, and they just weren't interested. And I could have tucked tail and gone home and said, this isn't for me. That's not what I want to do. I can't get what I want, so I'm just going to bail. But I didn't. I applied at another station, 105.9 WCKG. They played classic rock at the time. And I got in. The only problem was that they needed somebody at 4 o'clock in the morning. I swallowed my pride and said, I'll do it. I'll do it. I'll do whatever it takes to get in this industry. So I started getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning in 1995. It's 2014. I still get up at 3 o'clock in the morning. It's been 20 years. Okay? So I know what you're thinking. JR got this great gig working for Howard Stern. He's running mornings. He probably transitioned over to the sports station, and that's really not how it worked at all. Everyone has a path, and it's not always a straight line. Sometimes you have to take twists and turns and go different ways to get to where you want to go. So I had to do that. I was getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning working on a syndicated show. It had nothing to do with sports. It was Howard Stern, always entertaining, but he's 1,500 miles away, so how much fun am I really having in a studio by myself, right? It was still fun. I was running a show every morning, and then the people who came on after him had to come up to me and say, hey, JR, what time are we going on today? And I found that so amazing. The people I listened to for so many years were now my colleagues. Yeah, I'm in control of what time you go on the air. How cool is that? Now, I have nothing to do with it, but it's just the commercials have to be played, and there's content that needs to be run. Everyone's got a job to do when they go to their job, right? Responsibilities, commercials. You guys all do it, right? You have internships. You know what goes on at a radio station, right? You got to log a show. I was running Howard Stern, and then I got to produce the show after it, where I got to work with local talent. So now I'm booking guests, and I'm trying to answer phones and log the show and screen phone calls and write my sportscast, which I have now once a day on this midday show, which is the whole reason for me to get out of bed at 3 o'clock in the morning now. Now I'm on the air doing sports, which is what I wanted to do in the first place. And it was great. And we transitioned from that classic rock station to a talk station. And as transitions go, sometimes you get transitioned out. I got transitioned out after 6 good years, and it was a great run. I wouldn't change it for anything. I got to work with some fantastic people. I rarely said no to anything, and Some people I worked with taught me some really good lessons, and I learned a lot over there. I worked with some really great people. Change, whether you like it or not, is inevitable. You're going to have to take a path, like I said, that may not be the one that you envisioned when you go out of this program, okay? But once you're outside looking in, you'll do anything to get back in, especially in this business, especially when you want it right now, right? I talk a lot about in my classes about sense of urgency. Just because you want something to happen right now, and it doesn't happen for you right now, don't give up. Just because you want it now doesn't mean somebody else can give it to you right now, right? Your sense of urgency and your timeline isn't the same as your employer's. It never will be. So try to remember that when you're going for your gig, okay? You have to go into the day thinking that no matter what, there's no job that is beneath you. Go in early, stay late. Be the one who makes suggestions on how things can be improved. Know your role, but also learn and listen to everybody around you. Learn their role too. Talk to people in person, not on Facebook. Look them in the eye and tell them what you want. I want to be a sports broadcaster. Can you help me? That's a real question. Not like, hey, I want to do what you do. Tell me what you want and I can help you. But until you tell me what you want, I don't know what that is. So make sure that you express yourself to the people that you work with. Okay? Seek out opportunity. Don't wait for it to come to you. The internet is something that literally I've watched grow since I started in this business. When I started, I was literally cutting tape with a razor blade. Now we can log onto the internet and get the answer to any question in 2 seconds from your pocket, right? Worldwide instant access to anything you can think of, and even stuff you haven't thought of. You can find people and shows and sites and your interests, what you do. I always ask my students, what would you do if tomorrow you woke up and you had no school, no job, no bills, no responsibility? What would you do first? That is what you should be making your money doing. That is where you should pursue your career. And you can find that on the internet, most likely. Okay? So use it as a tool. I was doing some research on speeches for this event, and there are a lot of really impressive ones out there, and there are a lot of really smart people out there. I mean, way smarter than I am. One of them I happen to work with, and I saw that she's going to be speaking here in July. Her name's Sarah Spain. I work with her at ESPN 1000. You've probably seen her on TV. She does guest hosting on Numbers Never Lie on ESPN2. She's our update anchor. She's writes for ESPNW. She's everywhere. She's at Cog Hill this weekend covering the golf tournament. She doesn't say no to anything. She's a Cornell grad, okay? I listen to Sarah Spain. She knows what she's talking about, okay? She wrote a fantastic article last month about advice for grads. The good news is because I work with her, I actually asked permission if I could borrow stuff from it, and she said yes. So, thanks, Sarah. I don't want to go through the whole article, but the last line of her article really hit home for me, and I'd like to read it to you real quick. It talks about how you need to pursue your career and be open to things. And it talks about at times how you can be misunderstood, especially when there's a generation gap or you're new to the game. And she wrote at the end of the article, even if you're bold and pushy and ambitious and confident and odd and challenging, if you let kindness lead you, you will be embraced and not hated for all those things. That one got me. Kindness. She's right. Being kind to people is so much better than being bitter and angry. It opens so many more doors. Wow, everybody's staring at me right now. What's going on? You guys need to check your Facebook page or something? Social media breaks? Everybody want to check their Facebook page real quick? I know you're dying to look in your pocket right now. You got a buzz, right? Right? No? I use social media all the time. I ask my friends on social media, any advice for aspiring grads? I got a lot of answers. Some of them I can't read. A lot of people always go back to Confucius, right? Confucius said, if you do what you love, you'll never have to work a day in your life. Confucius, by the way, would have been a hell of a jazz DJ. He would have been a great jazz DJ. No? All right. I tried to get advice from people that were around today, right? People that were relevant, people that were living in today's world. Because sometimes you get advice from someone and you say, well, they don't really know what I'm going through. It's different then than it is now, right? So I asked my friends, give me some advice on different things, and I got a whole bunch of different responses. in different areas. And I kind of broke them down into different categories based on the way that Sarah wrote that last article, that last sentence. So I looked for people that were confident, right? My friend Frank wrote, don't be afraid of winning. It's true, don't be afraid of winning. Go for it. And if you're the one left standing at the end, you should be proud of yourself, right? My friend Matt, who created a PR firm, said if you can write, you can articulate, and think in every sense like a communicator, you can use those skills to make a living. Some employers may even value those skills more than the companies that own TV and radio stations. Writing is so important. We talked about it in class all the time. Work on your writing, practice your writing, right? Then there were the odd ones. I have a bunch of odd friends. Like, look out for number one, but don't step in number two. That's great advice. Thank you, right? Or don't ever heat up leftover fish in the company microwave. Stinky tilapia will not make you friends. Not bad advice. Okay? There were some people that like challenging the system too. My friend Robert, who's a doctor, said, choose your words wisely as you speak, because tomorrow you may have to eat them. So true. They don't taste good either. The one who tells you no or can't do something, they may just be holding you down, so you have to dream big and chase your dreams. My friend Hillary talked about the twists and the turns for the straight path from A to B and telling you all to enjoy the ride along the way. While my friend Wendy, who was a former promotions director, said the exact same thing, but know what's coming with the fork in the road. Have an idea of which direction you're going to take, right? My friend Diane, who's been helping me with this speech, also said, never be afraid to admit what you don't know. If you think you know everything or act like you do, you'll find yourself in some pretty tough spots. Admitting you don't know and then learning about it is critical. Always be learning. You can learn something from everybody you work with. Doesn't matter who it is, if they're above you, below you, the maintenance person, somebody has something to teach you. Be receptive to it. Be a good listener, right? And most of all, be kind. My friend Dan Wolf, who's a graduate of this program, said it best when he said, I'll take someone less talented up front knowing I can stand and sit in a small room with them for 8 hours a day. So just be nice, never say no, and never be late. If anybody's taken my class, you know that never be late is like my motto, okay? You have to be nice to the people on the way up, my friend Nina said, because you never know who you're going to see on the way back down, right? And be super kind to the people you work with, especially those who are below you, maintenance, gophers. These are the people that actually do the work. Make friends with all the staff, okay? Finally, it's you. You're the one that matters, right? Don't forget who you are, okay? Don't burn bridges. You never know who will be in a position to help you at some point in the near or distant future. You have to believe in yourself. You have to remember who you are. Think before you post on the internet. I know that sounds silly, but once it's out there, you can't take it back, right? So, in conclusion, the next time someone calls you cocky, maybe you should look at it a little bit differently. I appreciate when people take the time to look at me and try to evaluate what I've done and decide whether or not I'm worthy of the attitude I'm walking around with. Wow, you spent all that time thinking about me? Thank you. Confident, odd, challenging, kind, you should be all of those things. Surround yourself with smart people, listen and learn from them. Be brave, take chances, fall on your face, fail spectacularly, pick yourself up, and dust yourself off. Jim Carrey tells a story in his speech about his father and how he wanted to become a comedian. His father didn't think that was possible for him, so he made a safe choice and became an accountant. When Jim was 12 years old, his father lost that job, and they had to do whatever it took to survive, any odd job that was around. Jim Carrey took away from that you can fail at what you don't want. So you might as well take a chance on doing what you love. So congratulations to you, June Days, on taking a chance on doing what you love. Try to be kind along the way, even if some people see you as cocky. Thank you.